Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Game Changers podcast. My name is Quincy and it's a privilege and pleasure to be here with you as usual. My next guest is a young lady who has a passion for enhancing the human experience. In particular, she has a passion for enhancing this experience in commerce settings. Her name is Suzette Merille and this is her story. Hello Suzette, how are you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you, Queen. Thank you.
It's amazing to have you on. I have seen some of your content, and you said that you've seen some of my content. So it's always
Yes,
nice for some content creators to come together and make additional content.
I agree to that because what we do, everything is connected. So sometimes we think that we're so far apart, but we don't know how much what we do really is meant to work together. So I love that. I love that opportunity always.
For sure, for sure. So let's get straight into it. Let's not waste any time. Tell our people a bit about yourself. What do you do as a profession?
Well, my profession has to do with human experiences. So I
Okay.
am the human experience analyst and transitionist for what I consider boutique agency I founded in 2021 called Caribbean User Experience, Q for short.
Okay. Interesting. So tell us a little bit about that though. What exactly is that job? Because I think many people would not even know what that is or what it entails. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Uh, it's basically a philosophy. User experience design has been floating in the world for some time now, probably consider
Hmm.
20 years now. It is not new. It has just been re-engineered as time goes by, and
Right.
as technology has evolved. It became that user experience design and user experience only because in the greater parts of the world, technology is much bigger than our area in the world, the
Right.
Caribbean. Everybody's driven by technology. So it's more about building apps and platforms that the user experience is clearly defined there. But when it came to examining the field and looking to see what will be more appropriate for our space in the Caribbean, in St. Lucia, I felt that the human experience concentration was more important. Why? Because as much as we are moving towards technology,
Hmm.
we are still dependent on a lot of face-to-face interaction, a lot of
Absolutely.
brick and mortar stores. That traditional space is still alive,
Hmm.
and booming. And but then now the technology has found itself in there, which is supposed to have been an enhancement, a tool to make the engagement between humans better.
Hmm.
So we have found that the concentration on human experience puts the human at the center of all solutions, whether it is better interactions between one-on-one or better interaction with anything. Anything meaning website, app, system, process, another person. It just brings into focus that this is all about solving human experiences, making them better.
Interesting. Interesting. I find that work. I mean, I had never heard of about it before. I started following your content. But it
Yes.
it really does sound like an interesting field to be in. Really helping connect people with, I guess, work and enhancing their experiences in that way. How did you fall in love with your work though?
Oh God, that's a big one. Um, I can I use the word anal on this live?
Mm.
When it
Okay.
comes to seeing people reaction
Mm-hmm.
when they are experiencing something, it has a very big effect on me.
Okay.
I realized that a long time ago, going through my spat of my career and having to
Mm-hmm.
deal with customers and having to deal with employees, when you realize there's a point where you get so distraught, to maybe to the point of being angry, that you see something is so possible to be fixed and it's not being done,
Mm-hmm.
to just make customers or employees feel better. I recognize that that seemed to be something that's very core to me. No matter where I worked, no matter how advanced I became in my career, that seemed to be the focus for me. And just discovering user experience, the field that is, with human experience, human experience design being the field and human experience being the philosophy. I said, wow, okay, that is great. Something that I can actually go into and examine and see how can I use that now, combine it with all my experiences and develop a framework which we call total experience design. That too
Mm-hmm.
is not actually new, but what we have done is really combine the way we do things in St. Lucia in the Caribbean with the
Mm-hmm.
foundation of human experience design, bridging together employee experience, customer experience, and the entire makeup of an organization. So that kind of triangle forms total experience design. That's our framework.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you really focus on ensuring that everybody in the process is enjoying their time, right? So whether that be customer, whether that be employee, whether that
Right.
be somebody who is in charge of the business as well. I'm seeing that you really ensure that everybody is having a fruitful experience, and I think ultimately that is what we want as consumers, to have a fruitful experience. That is what we want as employees as well, to have a fulfilling experience, to enjoy what we do, and feel like we are doing something to improve our lives. So I like that a lot. Absolutely.
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
Absolutely.
The thing about
Y-
it is that all of us humans, I had a conversation with someone recently, and we had to agree that everybody actually wants the same thing.
mhm,
We actually want to live good lives. We want to have good feelings about everything that we interact with or engage with. And for most of our lives, we spend a lot of time engaging with businesses to satisfy our daily needs. So that is central. That's important. And as much as there wasn't focus on it before,
mhm,
it is now becoming more popular, better understood, as something that should be strategic in organizations now. That building experiences from a strategic standpoint is essential, even to making profit, increasing or enhancing your customer base, getting better employees or talents, influencing them, and having them see that this is the place that I would like to work. All of that has to do with experiences and feelings, yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm listening to you. But a question comes to mind then. Who then
Yes.
is your target market? Who do you really reach out to help with this business?
To be very frank, any entity that is serious about transitioning to human centric environments.
Okay.
Why? Because it all starts with a mindset. You have to be ready to do that, which means that from the helm, from the head of the organization, the buy-in has to start from there. You have to understand that you're making a shift from what has been traditionally an organizational culture, and now
Hmm.
moving to something where leaders have to be more servant leaders now. the concentration on profits, which are important, now you have to factor in other indicators,
Mm-hmm.
customer satisfaction, employee
Yep.
satisfaction, to understand and to know how they contribute to your profits, how they
Mm-hmm.
contribute to your brand presence, your brand identity. These are gigantic indicators as to whether a business is going to stand or when it's going to fall.
So I'm seeing that
Oh, sorry.
you want to help anybody who wants to change, basically.
Anybody who's willing and ready to change, yes. There might be some organizations that may not quite understand the concept, but
Mm-hmm.
they recognize that something has to shift because the world out there is changing. The dynamics in our population, our economy is changing, that you cannot continue doing the same things the way you used to do it. And for that reason, they would want to embrace now a different type of culture or way of being. Yes.
For sure. Now, on that same topic of culture, though, how has it been trying to make this a reality in the Caribbean in particular? I know that maybe in other places it might have been easier, but in the Caribbean, our Caribbean culture and our Caribbean settings, it might not be as easy. So tell me how that experience has been in the Caribbean context in particular.
Definitely, it has not been easy. Um, our Caribbean people take a while to get uh, to understand why something is being brought to them. That's one.
Yep.
Um, whether it has any benefits, and usually the first benefit they look at is cost,
Hmm.
profit making. What is it going to bring to me in with regards to profit?
Right.
And sometimes they make comparisons to other fields with the thinking that you can actually make a comparison, but you can't make a comparison because user experience works with all other fields.
Right.
Human experience is solution based. So that means if you need marketing, accounting, psychology, statistics, graphic design, podcasters, all of that contributes to figuring out how to solve a problem. So, yes, it has been a challenge, which I have gotten to embrace. So, because I love the opportunity to show why it's relevant because it happens daily. We complain about customer service, for example, on a daily. Let me exaggerate some more. On a minute, on an hour, on a
Right.
second, you hear people complaining.
Hmm.
Why do you complain? Because the feeling you have been experiencing hasn't been good. So now, why it's coming from a human standpoint. That's where the human experience design now has an opportunity to come and help solve the problem. There might be a gap, there might be a challenge, there might be an overlap that needs to be investigated to determine where is the root cause and help, find a solution for that. So slowly but surely, people are coming on board. People are actually have started using the language of customer experience as opposed to customer service, which is more transactional. They are understanding now how meticulous you have to be, how detailed you have to be in your
Right.
processes and systems is no longer where you can just slide under the covers or under the carpet and create this anecdote that will sort of superficially take care of the
Hmm.
problem, but then it's going to bring it will come back to you if you do not tackle it and deal with it properly. So a lot of organizations are realizing that it, as much as it is hard work, Luckily, human experience solutions can be fun. It could be a fun exercise because it's dealing with what you have already. You're not going to reinvent any new information,
Hmm.
any new research. You have the people there, you have the information there, you have your processes. It can be a very fun and exciting exercise to know that you could actually solve your own problems. Um, and not this sort of mass view of solving problems, right? It can be done. Micro steps can be taken to solve problems through human experience design.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I like the idea that you can not only solve your problems but solving them, baby steps, small steps at a time,
Yeah,
and you can really solve, the bigger issue. Now, earlier
right.
on, I said that I was looking at your content. So I know that you do
Yes.
create content of your own. What is your creative process like when you do create the content specifically for this field?
My creative process always start from what can I bring to the audience that they can identify with. So, for example, this suggestion box, I did a IG live on the suggestion box, something that a few businesses still use. I won't say most of them do. And if they were, it might have been a long time ago that most of them used to do it, but some still do. And it is something that even in the age of technology, where you have even digital suggestion boxes now, and so we still don't use that, but the traditional one is somewhere planted in a corner or in a business place, hoping that somebody will come and just pour their hearts out um, through the suggestion box.
Right.
Sad to say, the customers may be feeling or have felt that they've been doing that all their lives for
Uh,
as long as they've been engaging with the organization.
mhm,
Um, what I chose to do then is to examine what we traditionally do and then bring and show how suggestion boxes can now become a strategic tool in an organization done differently. And then we brought into the subject of habit formation. We have to give people a reason to use something. If a suggestion box is just placed on a counter, just because it says suggestion box doesn't mean people will come and provide their
right.
suggestions. For one,
Right.
you have not guided them or told them what you want a suggestion on. Even if, and then if you make it too sporadic, you may not be able to get any focal point. And at the
Hmm.
same time, you may make a decision that might not even tie into the majority of what people are hoping that you would fix. So if you help them by saying, asking, aligned with your objectives, that is, a particular area you like them to give in their suggestion on, then that focuses on that particular subject matter. Then you're able to dissect it and look at all of the data associated with it. And then it makes it more intentional and targeted. So I have a very sometimes unconventional way of looking at subject matter, but one that is closely aligned with how we live, how we do things. The questions people ask is why are we doing the things we are doing? And I take that now and I make it a subject.
For sure, for sure. So I'm seeing that you're doing things like you said, unconventional but still impactful. And I think oftentimes it takes things that are not conventional to have the most impact because usually people are stuck in a certain way, right? Stuck in a certain mainstream, and the mainstream might not necessarily be working, right? So having something new, having something dynamic, having something fresh can really transform the lives of those people, all the people involved in the process, whether that be again customers, whether that be the employers, whether that be the employees, all three of them can still get that impact because you have chosen to do things creatively outside of the box. So I like that. That's really nice.
Thank you.
This ad slot could be yours. In a world filled with stories, make yours resonate. Introducing Prime ad slots on our podcast, the gateway to a captive audience eager to hear your message. Secure your exclusive ad slot now. Contact via our Instagram page to find out more.
All right. So we're moving on to a segment of the podcast that I really like. It's called the Quick Hitters segment. In the Quick
Okay.
Hitters segment, you are to answer the questions as quickly as you possibly can. All right. So
Ah,
I'm going to
yes.
fire three questions to you. The first thing that comes to your head when you hear the question, you give the answer. Okay.
Oh, no problem.
All right. Great. So let's go. So first quick hitter question: what is your favorite part of your job? First thing that comes to your
Observing
mind.
people. Observing people.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. And I like that. Okay. Second quick hitter question. What is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
Learn to be silent.
Oh, wow.
Learn to listen. Yes.
Wow, wow. A lot of people need that advice as well. I like that.
Yes.
Nice.
No, I agree with you. It stems in all parts of our lives. Yes, but yes, definitely that's one.
For sure, for sure. And last quick hitter question. Who would you like to see on Game Changers?
Now, you asked that question. Sorry, I asked a guide, and I have been pondering of a particular name, but I would prefer to say a young teenage entrepreneur. When I mean teenage, I mean 15, 16-year old in the Caribbean doing something innovative.
For
Don't
sure.
have any names, but I would love
For,
to see that. Yes.
for sure, for sure. And we look for one. We look for one. So if you find one before I find one, feel free to send a name to me. I would love to interview
Okay.
somebody like that.
That would be awesome. I'd
For
definitely
sure.
do that. Yes.
For sure. For sure. Okay, so we coming to the back end of the interview. We've gotten here quickly. What advice would you have for young people who are interested to getting into business? And it doesn't have to be the same business that you are in, into business in general. What advice would you have for them?
Choose something that you know that you will never get tired of, that you'd enjoy doing, even if you had to spend 24 hours doing it. Choose something that excites your curiosity, that makes you want to go and look and find and ask questions, the why questions. Choose something that some people may stand against you for. Why? Because most likely the thing that they are standing against you for, they see it as something that can go places and go far. They just probably
Hmm.
just don't want you to be the one to do it. So yes, that's the three that I would tell a young person.
Wow, that last piece of advice was very, very interesting. I had never thought of it that way, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Often when we do have that impact, we would find naysayers and people who just do not really like the idea that, like you said, they might like the idea, but it might not like the idea that we are doing it necessarily. Right? So I never thought of it that way, but I really like how you put that together, and it's very true. It is absolutely
Yeah.
very true. All right. Somebody wants to get in contact with you. and wants to do business with you or just wants to have a conversation with you, how can they do that?
They can get me through several points through our email address, which is caribbeanuserexperience@gmail.com. They can contact me at telephone number 1758-722-5033. They could also reach out on our Instagram page, which is Caribbean dash user dash, sorry, let me say that, underscore dash underscore user underscore experience handle. And also they can get us on LinkedIn at Caribbean UX as the handle, as well as on Facebook. The most usable or platform that we most that is most frequented is our Instagram page. Sorry. Yes.
Okay, no problem, and we will leave the links to all of these things down below so that our viewers and our listeners can get access to them as easy as possible, so we can get you connected with good people. That's part of what Game Changers is: getting good products
Mhm.
in the hands of good people. That is the entire
Definitely.
idea of this thing. So we will
I love
definitely leave
that.
the links down below.
Okay, thank you so much. That's awesome.
No
That's
problem, no
awesome,
problem.
Quincy.
All right, so final question for me: what is next for Suzette?
There are many things that are next for Suzette. Besides expanding further into the various industries, because experiences are everywhere, we are working on some really big initiatives that we
Hmm.
cannot talk, but they are in the works.
Okay.
And hopefully, those initiatives will be able to better help businesses understand and even do their own human experience analysis and also journey mapping to be able to solve their problems. So we have a lot of work happening behind the scenes as we speak.
Beautiful, beautiful, and we look forward to that. And we will continue to promote whatever you have going on once we know about it, and we'll
Yeah,
continue to let people know about the good things that you are doing. Game Changers. I always say Game Changers is a family. Once you reach here, once you
yeah.
come here, you become part of the Game Changers family, and we will promote you until we can't promote anymore. All right.
There
So
you go. I'm
um,
very happy to be part of your family. Thank you for
for
having
sure,
me.
for sure, and we're happy to have you. We're really happy to have you. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Suzette, this is has been the end of the interview. It went by very quickly. I really enjoyed our conversation, though. I think my listeners have learned a lot from you and a lot about you. And to thank you for coming on, and thank you for being the person that you are. Continue and enhancing people's experiences, I should say, and continue
Yeah.
being the beacon of light that you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Quincy. I so appreciate that. Thank you for giving me the space to have this conversation with you. Thank
For
you.
sure. For sure. All right, guys. So this has been yet another episode of the Game Changers podcast. I'm to remind you to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. There are so many other amazing guests that we have spoken to already, and so many more coming our way very soon. Don't miss out on this content. Like and subscribe, and remember to ding that notification bell. Additionally, we are wherever you get your podcast. So wherever you will listen to your podcast, be it Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast, you can find Game Changers, and you can become a game changer just by listening. Or maybe someday you might be able to sit in the seat that Suzette is sitting in right now and be on this podcast. All right? Anyhow, thanks
So,
for listening once again, and I'll see you next time. But until then, stay hungry. Bye bye.